Good morning, everyone. Happy St. Patrick's Day. It is a chilly Tuesday morning. Taking a live look outside from our High Five camera, Clark Tower in East Memphis, a chilly 28 degrees. As you get up on the 9 o'clock hour, get going. It is 9:01. It might be chilly, but it's certainly nice and warm, sunny outside and inside with our friend Talisa Franklin joining us as she does each and every week on the Action News 5 digital desk. And Talisa, it is a busy week this morning. Good morning to you.
It is. And listen, happy St. Patty's Day, everybody. I have to pull my green out.
I love it. Yes. Yes. We got the green. We're all Irish for one day, right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, there's so many great things that's happening in our community, y'all. And on today, y'all, listen, we all know there's a major election that's coming up. And on tonight, there will be a sheriff forum from the Shelby County Democratic Party. Listen, it is imperative that we know our candidates and we vote for the best person because y'all know safety should be number one for everybody, right? And so want to make sure that we have candidate Anthony Buckner, candidate Reginald Hubbard, candidate Ricky Pollard, candidate Michael Pope, and candidate Keisha Scott will all be there telling you all why we should vote for any of them. And also it's going to be moderated by the one and the only attorney Van Turner. And so y'all, it's happening tonight. Meet and greet at 6 o'clock and the forum will start promptly at 6:30. It is imperative that we get the right information, y'all, so we can make great choices. It's happening at St. Paul Baptist Church, right there at 2124 Holmes Road. Our dear friend, Dr. Davis, is the host pastor. So, people, let's get out, y'all. Let's do this together, and let's pick us a leader that we all can trust and we feel like is going to make our county better, and especially make us a little bit safer, y'all. And then we got some fun stuff happening Saturday. The Cordova Easter event, y'all. Shout out to the town or Cordova. Louis is such an amazing young man that is always leading the charge, doing great stuff. And so the town of Cordova's extravaganza is happening on this Saturday. And so listen, y'all, get out. This time's for egg hunting time. It's going to be a great time. You see all the information that's happening at the Burt Ferguson Community Center. I'm super excited to see a young man like Luis is leading the charge for Town of Cordova's extravaganza. So y'all be out there. I'm definitely excited about being out, meeting all the children as well. And let's have a good time, y'all. I love the holidays. I'm a holiday girl. And then on that same day, y'all, Memphis Reset. We got the Memphis Reset Day, y'all, 2026. Last year, I had the pleasure of being one of the hosts, and they want your girl back again. So I'm back with my dear brother and friend, Stan Bell. And then we have another amazing artist that's going to be there as well hosting. So, hey, we got a triple threat of artists. But more so, y'all, I'm super proud of Heal the Hood Foundation of Memphis that has really got their finger on the pulse of the community and what the needs. We know we've had some challenging times in our city, but y'all know, like anything, you got to reset. And on this Saturday, we're about resetting. It's a community partners. It's going to be something for everybody to do. So this is what your Saturday should look like mine will look, right? Starting out with the extravaganza, and then I will be at the Memphis Reset 2026, where all of us are coming together for the good of our community for an amazing community experience. So, Andrew, on this St. Patrick's Day, I want people to go ahead and put them in and be lucky enough to be at all these events.
Oh, yeah, the luck of the Irish on your side. Talisa Franklin, we always appreciate you joining us and have a fabulous St. Patrick's Day. We appreciate your time.
You too, my brother. Bye bye. Love you all, Bluff City.
Yes, we love you back. Awesome. Another live look from our High Five camera. East Memphis there, Clark Tower. Gorgeous out there. The problem is it's very cold, 28 degrees. We're back in 1 minute with today's headlines on Action News 5's digital desk. Good morning, everyone. 9:07 is the time on your Tuesday morning. Another live look from our High Five camera. This is Midtown Memphis outside of our studios, 1960 Union Avenue, 28 degrees as you get going, but not a cloud in the sky. Lots of blue out there. We'll be talking more about your forecast later this hour here on Action News 5's Digital Desk. But right now, I want to get to some of the stories that we are following right now, and we begin with charges that have been dropped against a woman involving a deadly crash at this intersection here. The crash still is under investigation. We told you about this last week. Memphis police say a car hit a 6-year-old boy near Signal Street and Whitney Avenue. The crash killed the boy, and investigators say Kenyante Goss was the driver. She stayed on scene. MPD says she was driving on a suspended license. State law requires an arrest for that charge if the crash is deadly. In court yesterday, the prosecutor decided to drop those charges. The Shelby County DA's office tells us this case remains under investigation. Other charges may be filed in this case. After a violent weekend involving teens, Memphis community leaders are stepping in. A 14-year-old was killed, a 17-year-old was hurt in separate shootings. Heal the Hood Foundation says it's working to keep kids engaged, especially with spring break and the summer approaching. It's pushing to build a new youth empowerment center. As for the 2 shootings over the weekend, police have no suspects in either of those shootings. If you have any information, please call Memphis Police. Several charges now filed against a man investigators say led Tennessee state troopers on a wild chase on I-40 Friday night. Spencer Tincaris is facing speeding, reckless driving, felony evading charges after troopers tried to pull him over near Wilder Road in Shelby County. They say he then led troopers on a chase through Shelby and Fayette counties, backing up traffic for miles. Troopers deployed stop sticks when he crashed into traffic. One trooper was hurt. That trooper is expected to be okay. Tincaris then ran into the woods, but K-9 units were able to track him down. Crime Stoppers is crediting the community this morning with a tip that led to arrest of a man accused of robbing a Dollar Tree. Investigators say Jonathan Boyce walked into this Dollar Tree on Getwell Road back in January, went behind the counter, grabbed cash straight out of the register. 8 days later, a tip came in identifying Boyce. Police moved in, charged him with robbery. Arrest records show Boyce has a history of charges. Police tied him to 2 other similar robberies as well. He's now behind bars on a $100,000 bond. And the tipster, Crime Stoppers paid that tipster $700 for that tip. Medical device maker Stryker is reassuring doctors and patients this morning, saying its life-saving devices are safe to use despite a major cyber attack last week. These hackers hit the company, wiping data from 200,000 computers and phones. Stryker says doctors and clinics can keep using its surgical technology platforms, defibrillators, cardiac monitors, and connected beds without concern. Stryker says that the attack mainly disrupted its order processing, manufacturing, and shipping operations. A girls basketball coach at Collierville Middle School is in jail, accused of trying to move 2 pounds of cocaine. Homeland Security agents flagged a suspicious package on Friday. Deputies say they found 2 pounds of coke inside. Shelby County deputies searched the home where the package was delivered, arrested Starry Taylor there. He's facing possession with intent to distribute charges, along with a felon in possession of a firearms charge. A judge set his bond at $250,000. Collierville Schools has not responded to our request for comment. Memphis Animal Services removed online adoption applications from its website. They say that the option caused confusion among people looking to adopt. Shelter workers say people thought submitting the form meant they adopted the dog and would wait for a call instead of going to the shelter. You could still submit inquiry forms for pets on the website, but Memphis Animal Services says all adoptions will take place in person at the shelter. Tennessee families could soon stop paying taxes on groceries. Lawmakers are debating how to make it happen today. The grocery tax brings in $800 million a year, funding schools, infrastructure, public safety, and water systems across the state. Republicans backing 2 bills to eliminate the tax, but neither plan addresses how to replace the $800 million. Nashville Democrat Afton Bain Her bill is getting its first reading, taking a different approach by closing some corporate tax loopholes to fill the gap. The push has bipartisan support, and after similar bills stalled last year, lawmakers say the votes could be there with this one. New details on the investigation into the deadly blast at an explosive plant in Middle Tennessee's community of McEwen. It reveals that the building where it happened did not have working sprinklers or fire protection systems. That's according to the U.S. Chemical Safety Board. It called the blast one of the deadliest industrial incidents to happen in the U.S. in years. 16 workers were killed, several others were hurt. The explosion destroyed building 602, which had around 24,000 pounds of explosives material inside. U.S. Chemical Safety Board says several operators were pouring highly explosive mixtures into cast boosters on the morning the blast happened. First explosion created a pressure wave that set off additional explosives in the building. The blast was so powerful it registered as a small earthquake. U.S. Chemical Safety Board's investigation is ongoing. GE is investing $18 million into its facility right here in the Mid-South. The Batesville, Mississippi GE facility produces a certain type of engine used in commercial aircraft, I should say. GE wants to speed up production, so it's investing $1 billion in its facilities across the country. Batesville investment will specifically go towards adding and upgrading production and inspection equipment. The 2026-27 Broadway season at the Orpheum is almost here. The lineup is out. 7 shows headed to Memphis. First up, Clue runs September 15th through the 20th, bringing the classic Whodunit to the stage. Spamalot follows October 27th through November 1st. In December, The Great Gatsby takes over December 1st through the 6th. Then Boop, the musical, hits the Orpheum January 26th through the 31st. Spring brings Hell's Kitchen March 16th to the 21st, followed by Harry Potter and the Cursed Child June 29th through July 5th. And wrapping up the season, Operation Mincemeat, a new musical, runs July 13th through the 18th. Here's something to put on your calendar this week. The Memphis Museum of Science and History, better known as the Pink Palace, is opening its doors for free this Thursday. The museum is offering free admission on the third Thursday of every month. This month, that is March 19th, this Thursday. You can check out all the exhibits without spending a dime. A new immersive experience is coming to Mud Island. Baron von Opperbein and the River of Time will open soon inside the Old River Museum, featuring 33,000 square foot interactive world blending science, art, and adventure. The first 8,000 square feet of fun opens May 1st. The next 10,000 square feet should be open by the end of the year. The project's full completion, all 33,000 square feet slated to open in 2027. BVO has raised $700,000 of its $1 million fundraising goal. Memphis Tourism, Downtown Memphis Commission, and the City of Memphis also chipped in to transform Mud Island. All right, Tennessee Hoops fans have a lot to cheer about this week. Multiple teams are dancing into March Madness on the men's side. Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Tennessee State have all locked in their spots. Also, Arkansas has a spot. Florida Gators have a spot. For the women, the Lady Vols and Vanderbilt in the bracket 2. Volunteer State, plenty of teams to cheer on for March Madness. And later today on the Mid-South Sports and Entertainment Network, you can catch the Atlanta Braves take on the Boston Red Sox, 12 o'clock noon. Then tomorrow, the Cardinals will host the Astros, also at noon. You can catch the action on the Mid-South Sports and Entertainment Network, digital channel 5.3, or channel 907 on Xfinity. We're going to take a short break. We're back in 1 minute on Action News 5's Digital Desk.
Thanks for joining us here on the Action News 5 Digital Desk. I'm First Alert meteorologist Patrick Ellis. 48 the forecast high temperature for today here across the Mid-South. Hopefully you can get out and enjoy a beautiful day here across the region. But overall, it's not looking half bad for us as we go through the course of the day. Today, it's just going to be just downright chilly on the way up into those upper 40s. A fair amount of sunshine to come around as well. If you have plans maybe heading down to Cooper Young for the St. Patrick's Day Parade through the Cooper Young neighborhood, I think you're going to be in good shape. It's just going to be chilly. You'll need the jackets most definitely, but the good thing is that no rain will be coming out of the clouds here as we go through the course of the day. Actually, not many clouds in the skies here on this Tuesday, but the clouds are not far from coming back into the fold. That will happen overnight tonight and throughout the majority of your day tomorrow. Temperatures will dip down briefly into the middle to upper 30s. We might get a quick shower or two as we go through the course of your Wednesday morning as a weak disturbance pushes past us. Once it does move past, it will clear out the skies. Temperatures will try to pop back up to the lower 60s by the afternoon hours of your Wednesday. Overall, though, if you're a fan of warmer weather, you got it coming up here the next couple of days. We'll go 75 for a forecast high coming up for your Thursday. Tons of sunshine. That is the final day of the winter season, and the first day of the spring season will feature highs that will be closer to 80 degrees, so it would be more akin to what we normally see in the month of May. That will continue all the way through the weekend as well. Speaking to that, 66 the average high as we head through that time frame. But look at the 80s as we head through this upcoming weekend. We're calling for a high of 84 degrees. Now I'm pulling out Sunday, and you're looking at First Alert Futurecast and like, okay, well, why are you showing me that? Because there's not much going on. Well, that's the thing, is that there won't be much going on except when there is something that could be going on. There's a weak front that will drop into the area. It may be able to spark a quick shower or two as we head through the overnight period of Sunday into early Monday. That front will better work its way down towards the south and should clear the board as we head throughout the course of the day on your Monday. Temperatures will kind of work their way back around towards about 70 degrees. Going to keep a small mention of a shower there. We go into next week. Highs will be hovering right around the lower 70s here with a mixture of clouds and sunshine. There could be a better chance for rain to emerge late Wednesday into Thursday with another front approaching the area and may be able to bring down our temperatures a couple more notches by the time we head towards the end of next week. But the next couple of days, including for the first weekend of spring, much more like May here across the region after a very cold way to kick off your St. Patrick's Day here on this Tuesday. A small chance of rain here or there. Most of this time, though, mainly dry.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. The Memphis Jewish Community Center is hosting its first ever music festival. It's called Jammin' at the J. It's happening later this month. And joining me now to talk more about that festival, Jonathan McCarter. He is the Cultural Arts Director at the Memphis Jewish Community Center. So, Jonathan, tell me what inspired this music festival. Good morning.
Hi, Andrew. Thank you so much for having us. So we are strategically placed on 24 acres out here at the Memphis Jewish Community Center, and spring's coming. We've got this beautiful weather, and so we were like, let's celebrate some Jewish musicians. Now, I want to be clear: this is not a Jewish music festival. It's not klezmer, although there's nothing wrong with a good klezmer band, but this is a celebration of Jewish musicians. We've got three solid acts, three solid lineups. We're starting with Jack Fargo, who Memphis born, grew up here at the Memphis Jewish Community Center, has since moved to LA. He's bringing his band out. They're going to really rock the show. Our middle act is a Memphis staple, Memphis Soul Remedy. You've seen them around at iconic Memphis events like Peabody rooftop parties and things like that. And then our headliner is Avi Kaplan. Avi Kaplan's a three-time Grammy winner. He was an original member of the group Pentatonics, and we're so excited that we were able to secure him and that he's coming out to headline the festival here.
That's fantastic. I love it. I mean, it's a little bit of everything for everyone there. Pentatonics, that's a big name we hear about every year too. And then Soul Remedy. I mean, you know, we're talking about Memphis music here at a Memphis festival.
Yes.
You got to have some of that in there. And then I love it that Jack Fargo as well. So tell us about Sunday, the 22nd, when it's happening, 11 to 4:30, right?
Yes. Doors open 11:30. Jack's going on at 12:30. Memphis Soul Remedy will be up at 2. and Avi's going to be up at 3:30. But in and amongst the day, while you're out, we've got some really great food that's going to be out there. We've got a kids zone. We've got some bounce houses, some face painting and activity out there. We've got a slew of good vendors. Born Bloom Jewish Community School is going to be out there with things they've created from their design lab. We've got some candle makers, some crafts, some jewelry, some art. It's going to be it's a whole day. It's a whole fun festival that we've put together that's going to be on, coming up. Not this Sunday, but next Sunday, March 22nd.
It sounds fantastic. So let's talk about tickets, how people can get them, and how many people do you expect to have for the festival?
Sure. We've got plenty of room. We're sitting at a good number of tickets right now, being about 10 days out from the festival. Tickets, I've seen an uptick in ticket sales, but we've still got space. We're still welcoming patrons. You can go to our website, jccmemphis.org. You can see access to tickets there, or you can call our front desk, 901-761-0810, secure tickets there. You can also get tickets day of, but buying early, it never hurts.
Exactly. No, understand that. How much are tickets?
Tickets are, well, we've got two price ranges. We've got our community price, which is $30, and membership pricing is $25. That's for 13 and up. If you are 4 to 13, then tickets are $15 and $20, and 4 and under are free. I want to be clear that all of our programming is open to the community. You don't need to be Jewish to come and see the program here. Our membership base is a wide array of Jewish and non-Jewish members, and so we always have community pricing, so that you can come out and see what our programming is all about.
Absolutely. That sounds fantastic. Jonathan, amazing stuff here. I can't wait for the concert. It sounds fantastic. Anything else before we let you go?
I need to be sure to thank our event sponsors, because there's no way that things like this would happen. So, as I said, the event's presented by Kalman Lazarov Wealth Management. Our other sponsors are Preparedness Consulting Service, Paragon Bank, and the Memphis Jewish Federation. I just want to say it's going to be a great time. Please come out and join us. Let me know if I can provide any additional information. And Andrew, thank you so much for the time today.
Thank you, Jonathan McCarter, jamming at the J Music Festival, March 22nd at the Memphis Jewish Community Center. It's going to be a great time. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming on the digital desk, and we look forward to hearing great things and more programs and activities from the Jewish Community Center. Thanks, Jonathan.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. It's time to check in on one of the prettiest places in the entire Memphis Mid-South area. Jenna Harris is at Memphis Botanic Garden right now to talk about tulips at twilight. It sounds like an amazing event for adults, right? Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, we're excited to bring y'all out here and see all of our beautiful tulips that are starting to bloom right now. We have a lot of things going on with our whole season of bloom. Tulips at Twilight is going to be one of those. At the rate the tulips are going, it might be strings in the spring, or, our tulips, Mother Nature is coming in just a little bit earlier than we expected. So right now our tulips are in full bloom. This weekend is going to be a fantastic time to be able to come out and see those. The weather's looking great for that. You can come out, see the tulips in full bloom before we get that little shot of cold weather. There'll still be tulips a little bit later in the spring. But again, we've got all of the different things that are starting to bloom. The great thing about being here in the garden is that every day it's beautiful. It might not be exactly what we expected when we expected it, but there's always something blooming and something looking fantastic out here.
It really looks amazing, Jenna. I mean, those tulips just look gorgeous. Tell us exactly where you are at the Botanic Garden.
Yeah, so this is what we're calling Tulip Terrace. This is back across from the Japanese garden near our Blecken Pavilion area. And historically, this hillside has been covered with daffodils. A lot of those are already done blooming. They come out a little bit earlier in the spring, in the late winter, early spring. And so this year, as a part of a big celebration of bloom, we planted tulips all throughout the garden. This is one of the largest concentrations of tulips in the garden is Tulip Terrace. And for tulips at twilight, and they'll be playing beautiful string music as the sun is setting. You can purchase a meal and be able to be here out in the garden, enjoying your dinner and some cocktails while the band is playing the music back here within the.
Okay, so this is April 3rd, right? So this is April 3rd from 6 until 8 o'clock? Can you hear me, Jenna? Uh-oh, I think we lost you.
There you go.
Okay,
Gotcha.
good, good. I was going to say, this is April 3rd from 6 until 8 o'clock, right?
Yes, this is going to be April 3rd. So again, our tulips might be done by that point, but everything else will be blooming and beautiful, and we'll be able to enjoy the garden space as everything is blooming. Right now, we're waiting on those cherry trees to pop. We'll have our cherry blossom picnic coming up here in a couple of weeks, which is one of our favorite times at the garden. It's one of our kind of our kickoff of spring here at the garden, and we'll be able to enjoy that as well. So it's looking like you're going to be able to see everything blooming at one time out here before we hit into those southern favorites with our azaleas and some of the other things that'll be blooming throughout here.
And if people want to see just more information on various events that you guys happening throughout the spring and summer months, give us the web address one more time.
Yep, you can visit our website at membg.org. You can go on there. That'll have all of the information about all of our upcoming events. We've got our Sunday Garden Club classes. So if you want to learn a little bit more about gardening and how you can make your yard look like this as well, you can come to some of those. And then all of the other things we have coming up, and the links for the tickets will be on there as well.
Okay, Jenna Harris, appreciate you as always, and the beautiful 96 acres at Memphis Botanic Garden. Thank you so much.
Morning.
Good morning. Yeah, I definitely agree with that point, Andrew. We get members coming in to join. They're always talking about exercise. It's a first priority. But when you think about exercise, that's really maybe a few hours a week, maybe 10 hours a week at max. When we talk about nutrition, we're doing that every day. We're eating multiple times a day. And it's going to help support our energy. It's going to help us recover and perform the best we can.
Fantastic. Samantha, do you want to weigh in?
Yeah, I always use the analogy, do you take care of your car? Do you get your oil changed? Do you put gas in your car. So I kind of reciprocate that to the body, right? If you want more energy throughout your day, if you want to feel fueled, not dehydrated, like what are you doing and what are you putting in your body to help yourself live a healthy and happy life every single day and not feel low energy or feel like you are slumming around a little bit. You probably should check into what you're putting into your body to help sustain yourself throughout the day.
Yeah, no question about it. It's something when you are dealing with a fine, well-oiled machine, anything that you put into it could either have great benefits or could really put you behind the eight ball and you could be really lacking. So let's talk about some of those simple ways to fuel not only our body but our brain as well. And feel free to jump in whenever you guys want to talk about an issue. But yeah, let's talk about those elements of fueling both the body and brain.
You want to go first?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think it all really starts with carbs. A lot of times we hear people say we need to cut back on our carbs, but really carbs, we need those for just our body to function properly. You want to probably shoot for about 45% of your calories coming from carbs. So almost half of your calories coming from carbs. And then you want the carbs because you're going to be able to fuel your workout. When we talk about the main fuel source for building muscle, it's going to be your carbs. So if you don't have carbs, kind of like to Samantha's analogy, you're running on empty. We don't want to run on empty when we're trying to build muscle.
Yeah. So behind us, we have our protein powder and it's Build. So in Build, we not only have the protein grams in there, but we also have your essential minerals, vitamins, probiotics, your fiber. So it's really important that in addition to our carbs, which is our energy source, that we're intaking that protein as well to help replenish the breakdown that we create while we're working out. I know sometimes it's hard. It is spring break time. People are going on vacation, but being able to balance pleasure, right, of going out to eat and enjoying yourselves with friends, right, it's all in moderation. And so we discussed a little bit that it's just small changes, right, whether it's you're a little bit more prepared when going on vacation and you bring your protein powder with you. Because, you might be going to a pizza place on the water at the beach, so being mindful and 1% better every day will help bring yourself to that point of, okay, now I'm eating, healthy almost all the time. So it's those little steps along the way that you're going to want to change before that big impact really occurs.
Appreciate both of you weighing in on that. Great, valuable information. Let's talk now about sugar intake. So many of us are trying to do our best to watch sugar. It is in everything. I don't have to tell you that. It is certainly an issue for so many people. So how do we watch it and how do we reduce that intake?
Yeah, so biggest thing that I would say is look at your nutrition labels and track how much added sugar that you're taking in. So those natural sugars are okay to take in, but really it's just like you're looking at double-digit added sugars. You probably want to cut back on those, but also track like your serving size because you may be eating a bigger portion, multiple servings. So instead of eating 2 servings, 3 servings, let's cut it back to 1, and that way we're in moderation. Another thing too is swapping those foods out for natural sugars. So like fruits, veggies is going to be an easy way to make that transition.
I like that. That's great. What about hydration? Because, there are a couple trains of thought. So a lot of people are like, oh, you got to drink water. You got to drink 8 ounces of water at least, or eight glasses. You know what I mean? And so the hydration can be an issue. But then there's other people that says, whoa. You need something in that water. You need some sort of electrolytes or salt or whatever. Tell us your best methods.
Yeah, so again, behind us, we have our Hydrate. It's sitting on top like a little tier. So I teach a lot of heated classes here at Lifetime. We have, hot yoga and hot Pilates. So in those classes, people are usually sweating a lot amount and in saunas as well. But what they don't know, it's not only drinking enough water prior that day to your class, but also getting your electrolytes in the day before, so that when you're going in, you're completely hydrated, and then you're hydrating even more after that. Just to your point of sodium, the salt intake, that's going to help replenish way more of that sweat that you have lost in your workouts and in your sauna sessions than just water will. Our Hydrate, we have a bunch of flavors that are very yummy. So anybody can purchase these off the Lifetime shop.
Final question before we let you go, and we're wrapping up here. Fiber in diet is very important. What are some easy ways to get that into our diet?
Yeah, I think it goes back to just like veggies, whole grains, like just your natural foods. One of the most important things is look at your nutrition label. You want to try to get foods that have dietary fibers like 3 grams, 5 grams. Not only is the benefit of the fiber, but also those foods are more likely to have vitamins and minerals, heavy doses of them.
Yeah, and obviously supplementation is really simple to do. You can throw some fiber in your drink, your protein shakes. Our Build protein powder with that all-in-one is going to have some fiber in there as well. But also too, like those natural plant foods, like John was saying, eating your veggies, that little difference that you can change within your nutrition will help your digestive system a lot more than, trying to eat greens all day, every day. So remember, those small little changes that you make will make it easier once we start getting into those long-term goals.
As much as I like to see you guys working out on camera, and we've done that in the past, this is a very important conversation as well. So appreciate you guys, Samantha Pennington and John Broadway, coming on the Digital Desk. Valuable information on nutrition for both your body and your brain. We appreciate your time. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. There is a story that's written in the Daily Memphian, and this is about tax revenue from XAI. It is projected to more than double. And joining me on the Action News 5 Digital Desk, I have Sam Hardiman on the line. He wrote this article, and XAI has been in the news a lot over the last several weeks, several months. Sam, I don't have to tell you, but this one definitely piqued my curiosity because a lot of people who have been in support of XAI coming into Memphis and the Mid-South area have pointed to this fact that tax revenues are going to continue to grow. Can you talk a little bit about the projections when it comes to this tax revenue? Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Andrew. Thanks for having me. And so the Shelby County Assessor's Office gave a presentation to the Shelby County Commission that estimates XAI's Shelby County property tax revenue, which is just one component. They obviously pay City of Memphis taxes for their City of Memphis operations. And this doesn't have anything to do with their South Haven operations because that's a different state and different municipality in that state. But just for Shelby County, based for the 2 data centers in Memphis, it could pay up to $28 million this year in ad valorem property tax, which is obviously a big amount of money. It's huge for the county budget. It would probably be a similar amount of money just based on projections for the City of Memphis because the assessments work roughly the same. But we don't know that officially yet. And so last year for the 2025 tax year, XAI paid the county $12.5 million. This is money that's actually been paid, and the City of Memphis $12 million. And that was just with one data center on the tax rolls. What's really important here is now there are 2 data centers. The Whitehaven data center, which is at 5420 Tulane Road, is now on the tax rolls. Beyond the first original one, source of the original controversy, 3231 Paul Lowry Road, which is now going to be on its 2nd year on the tax rolls. And so that's where this money in this decreased projection is coming from. We still haven't seen the actual appraisals yet, and that's something to really look at and make sure that XAI is being taxed on everything that's in the building. But this is why the revenue is going up. There's more XAI to tax.
Sure. Yes, absolutely. And I know last year there was discussion about earmarking some of their tax money to some of the neighborhoods around XAI. I know there was talk. Did anything come from that? Do you know?
Yeah, I mean, something happened. I don't actually know what the city of Memphis has done with the money yet, but the city of Memphis did pass an ordinance. Forgive me, I don't remember the name of it, but essentially allocating money within a radius around the XI data centers, a quarter of the tax revenue. And the mayor actually put out a video probably last week on his Instagram page that was talking, didn't really about the need for investment in the area. Obviously, the Memphis Mayor Paul Young has yet to present his budget yet. And so that's, how much their revenue they're expecting from XAI and what a quarter of it looks like remains to be seen. So yeah, that has happened. At the same time, both Shelby County and the city of Memphis face real budget constraints and have slow growth in other revenue sources or negative growth in some revenue sources in the city of Memphis. So this money is coming, this influx of essentially what is taxation on billions, tens of billions of dollars, probably in investment from XAI is coming probably at a welcome time for both governments' budgets, is probably fair to say.
Yeah, I could see that. Interesting stuff, Sam. Another thing that was interesting that I found in that article that you wrote, Sam, was the fact that other companies have purchased properties for perhaps the potential of other data centers. Explain.
Yeah, and we've reported this at the Daily Memphian. I think WMC has too. We're talking about the former Fred's warehouse, other stuff. Probably none of it as substantial as XAI, because XAI, not just on a Memphis scale, like I think Memphians sort of sometimes forget how large XAI's actual investment here is or maybe even don't know in terms on a national scale. It's giant. This is one of the largest, clusters of data centers in the country for like artificial intelligence purposes. So like just a different level of investment. But yeah, these other data centers are planned, and again, that planned is not building, is not having permits, is not drawing electricity, right? There's a difference, and yeah. So I mean, that is what the Shelby County assessor's office is saying in a presentation. Whether or not that stuff actually comes on the tax rolls is different. I mean, XAI has come on the tax rolls and built data centers. Obviously, they're in existing buildings. That's part of the reason why. At pretty crazy speed, right? In the West Memphis, Google project, for example, obviously different state, different municipality, but not any, because that's a new build. That's nowhere close to contributing tax revenue to that community yet. And so this isn't to praise XAI, it's just to say XAI is moving at such speed that like almost in real time, the investment in any economic benefit from the controversy, which is really the tax revenue, right, is happening versus, just controversy and no increased tax revenue. And so that's worth, and obviously it's not just controversy. There's real air pollution concerns that have come with XAI. XAI has been a material addition, not material, I can't say that, but has definitely been an addition based on facts to the region's air quality issues. How big of an addition is probably beyond my knowledge, but and I'd love to see some good science on that. But there's increased tax revenue here, and then there's also the fact that this investment has come with an additional worse contribution to air quality issues, which Shelby County already had before XAI arrived.
Okay. All right. Another thing I wanted to mention, kind of related there, is the fact that with these other companies perhaps building data centers, and again, as you mentioned, I mean, there's nothing that has any kind of agreement in place that says, okay, a data center will go up. They've just purchased property there. But it could drive, you mentioned, XAI has this huge presence here. Could there be the possibility of, becoming this hot spot for data centers and artificial intelligence here in Memphis and the Mid-South?
I mean, it's not just a possibility at this point, Andrew. I mean, if you just look at the amount of very valuable chips, which we don't have a really good number from the company on right now, that are doing the type of artificial intelligence computing in Memphis that XAI has, Memphis is definitely a hot spot. Just a matter of whether the discussion of, is Memphis going to be like an AI hub in the future, and is this going to, grow? I think that's hypothetical. I think XAI by itself has made Memphis this. Whether or not there's like going to be this sort of critical mass of companies is unclear. And it's also worth noting that like some of these other data centers aren't necessarily AI data centers. And there's a difference in terms of, we're using the cloud right now for all this interview, right? Like it's, we're using whatever Zoom is using as a cloud provider and whatever y'all are using. And we're, being able to do this. I mean, that's happening because of a data center. It's just not an artificial intelligence data center. And so that's, I think, important to note too. And so, yeah, I think XAI by itself, but just, I mean, the amount of investment it takes to become an AI hub is crazy. And it's just, I don't know if there's going to be another company coming.
Okay. Well, listen, I always appreciate the conversation. Sam Hardiman, Daily Memphian, and joining us on the Action News 5 Digital Desk. We appreciate your time as always, Sam. Thank you. Have you seen St. Denis Medical? It airs Monday nights at 8 o'clock on NBC. And this is a mockumentary about an underfunded, understaffed Oregon hospital where the dedicated doctors and nurses try their best to treat patients while maintaining their own sanity. Joining me now on the Action News 5 Digital Desk, I am joined by a couple of actors on the show. You know them as Serena and Matt. I'm joined by we got Mei Key Leeper and Kyun Kim. Good morning to you both. Tell us, how are you both doing this morning?
Doing really well.
Doing really good.
Yeah, happy to be here at the Digital Desk.
Yes, I love it. I feel the same way. I'm happy you guys are here on the Digital Desk too. So you guys are entering season 3 here. For someone, and I gave a little brief introduction off the top, but for someone who's never seen St. Denis Medical, how would you describe it?
Very good show.
Very good show. Truly the fastest way is The Office, but in a hospital. This is the crude fast way. But yeah, it's a really fun show about doctors and nurses that is not scary and stressful to watch. It's fun and it's light, and we're having a blast.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned The Office, and so what I understand, it's from the creators of The Office and Parks and Rec, right?
Yeah, it's from some of the same producers, some of the same writers. Justin Spitzer, of course, creator of Superstore and office writer. Actually wrote on Scrubs even back in the day. Spitzer's been around.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys are cute. I love it. You guys are funny, and you're selling it. So I appreciate it. For someone who's never watched and maybe they just don't have time, or it's like Mondays at 8 o'clock, I'm doing this and that and all that. What would you say to them? How would you compel them to go ahead and check you guys out on season 3?
Make the time.
Yeah,
mean-
yeah. What do you guys?
Doing it at 8.
Yeah.
Like,
What are you watching, Monday Night Football or something? Like, whoa, I'm actually getting word a lot of Americans are watching Monday Night Football. But if you're not, check out the show. Yeah, I listen. It's really fun. We're going into the 3rd season. We do 18 episodes a season. So if you wanna binge a bunch on Peacock, we have a ton of episodes already,
and it's good.
and it's really good.
And funny.
It's a blast. We're looking into the camera. It's a classic mockumentary situation. It's just like this. You're gonna love it.
I'm enjoying this. So listen, so let me talk about a little bit. So many people are wondering how, when they see you on TV, it's like, how did this person get their start? I mean, like, can you guys go briefly into your background? Kyun, you start.
Well, long story short, born and raised in Korea, came to the States, went to Juilliard, said, I want to be an actor. Came to LA, and here I am, living the American dream.
And that's actually exactly what happened to me also. That's so crazy.
It was right next to me.
I was there the whole time.
Yeah.
No, I was a stand-up comedian, and then I was a TV writer after that. And then one time I was writing on a show, Jury Duty, and they were like, maybe you could act on the show. And then I started acting more after that, and I don't know, somehow accidentally I'm here. Whoops.
Awesome. I love it. You guys are fun. So listen, let me ask you something, because a lot of times when you think about a project and you go into it, you're excited and you have different thoughts in your mind, and then once you're in it, you realize, wow, there's a lot of different things than I had originally thought. Tell us some of the, I don't know, top 2 or 3 things that going in you had no idea you would see once you're in it. You follow what I'm saying?
Totally, yeah. I was surprised at, and this sounds silly to say, but the pilot we shot in a real hospital that we sort of dressed to be this fake hospital in Oregon, but then they built a real scale hospital on a soundstage here at the Universal lot, and it
looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
I don't know how they did that.
Yeah. And it's funny because it's a lot of effort for what is ultimately a kind of mundane and boring workplace, but that's what makes it special, is that they nail all the little signs on the door and all of the little tiny details, that make a hospital. So that was surprising.
Ooh, you know what? What was surprising is, how you see those blooper reels?
Oh, yeah.
Like, when you see like The Office and they see the blooper reels or Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
We're sometimes the blooper reels.
Yeah, it's nice to be in a blooper reel.
Yeah.
It's fun. As it's happening live, you're like, oh my God, we're messing up the scene right now. This is great. I do. Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, Monday nights, 8 o'clock on NBC, Dr. Dennis, or St. Dennis Medical. You guys sound great. You're selling it for us here on the Action News 5 Digital Desk. Anything else you want to mention before we let you go?
We're really cute on the show.
We're cute on the show. Tune in. Season 2, we got lots of great guest stars. Draymond Green was on this season. That's pretty cool. We've got an exciting finale.
Yeah.
And watch the second to last episode. There's maybe some explosive turns in our characters' friendship relationship. Who's to say? I don't know details.
Okay.
There's an explosion. I want to promise there's going to be an explosion on the show. CGI was very expensive. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, all right. Well, we're going to watch in spite of having Draymond Green on the show, because in Memphis, the Grizzlies, we don't like Draymond Green all that much, but we like you. And so
listen, he gets struck by lightning. You guys may enjoy that. You may enjoy
Okay.
struck by lightning in the show.
Hey, don't give away the farm. That's okay. But listen, that's good. You sold it. You made up for it. All right, well, listen, Kayun and McKee, we really appreciate you on the Action News 5 digital desk. Good luck. Congratulations on the 3rd season, and we'll look for you on TV. Appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us here on the Action News 5 Digital Desk. I'm First Alert meteorologist Patrick Ellis. 48 the forecast high temperature for today here across the Mid-South. Hopefully you can get out and enjoy a beautiful day here across the region. But overall, it's not looking half bad for us as we go through the course of the day today. It's just going to be just downright chilly on the way up into those upper 40s. A fair amount of sunshine to come around as well. If you have plans maybe heading down to Cooper Young for the St. Patrick's Day parade through the Cooper Young neighborhood, I think you're going to be in good shape. It's just going to be chilly. You'll need the jackets most definitely, but the good thing is that no rain will be coming out of the clouds here as we go through the course of the day. Actually, not many clouds in the skies here on this Tuesday, but the clouds are not far from coming back into the fold. That will happen overnight tonight and throughout the majority of your day tomorrow. Temperatures will dip down briefly into the middle to upper 30s. We might get a quick shower or two as we go through the course of your Wednesday morning as a weak disturbance pushes past us. Once it does move past, it will clear out the sky. Temperatures will try to pop back up to the lower 60s by the afternoon hours of your Wednesday. Overall, though, if you're a fan of warmer weather, you got it coming up here the next couple of days. We'll go 75 for a forecast high coming up for your Thursday. Tons of sunshine. That is the final day of the winter season. And the first day of the spring season will feature highs that will be closer to 80 degrees. So it would be more akin to what we normally see in the month of May. That will continue all the way through the weekend as well. Speaking to that, 66 the average high as we head through that time frame. But look at the 80s as we head through this upcoming weekend. We're calling for a high of 84 degrees. Now I'm pulling out Sunday and you're looking at First Alert Futurecast and like, okay, well, why are you showing me that? Because there's not much going on. Well, that's the thing, is that there won't be much going on except when there is something that could be going on. There's a weak front that will drop into the area. It may be able to spark a quick shower or two as we head through the overnight period of Sunday into early Monday. That front will better work its way down towards the south and should clear the board as we head throughout the course of the day on your Monday. Temperatures will kind of work their way back around towards about 70 degrees. Going to keep a small mention of a shower there. We go into next week. Highs will be hovering right around the lower 70s here with a mixture of clouds and sunshine. There could be a better chance for rain to emerge late Wednesday into Thursday with another front approaching the area and may be able to bring down our temperatures a couple more notches by the time we head towards the end of next week. But the next couple of days, including for the first weekend of spring, much more like May here across the region after a very cold way to kick off your St. Patrick's Day here on this Tuesday. A small chance of rain here or there. Most of this time, though, mainly dry.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. I'm Andrew Douglas. Let's talk about the relationship between high blood sugar and heart disease. To talk more about this issue, I'm joined on the Action News 5 Digital Desk by Dr. Harbinger Singh. He is a cardiovascular and thoracic surgeon with St. Francis Hospital. Harbinger, thank you so much for joining us. So tell me a little bit about the direct correlation between high blood sugar and heart disease. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for having me. Yeah, there's definitely a correlation of high blood sugar and vascular disease, cardiac disease, and also all the vessels in the body. Chronically elevated blood sugar will cause irregular changes in the vascular system, and eventually over time, the amount of blood flow that comes through these vessels that brings the vital oxygen and nutrients will be diminished. And this will cause problems with the organs they supply or the muscles they supply, etc.
So, for all of those people out there, how do we, one, measure blood sugar, and two, how do we bring it down?
Well, people who have diabetes or at risk for diabetes, or even the general public, should see a primary care doctor regularly. Those that are at risk for diabetes or have type 2 diabetes or type 1 diabetes should see more often. The labs that are generally checked on the blood panel include the fasting blood sugar, which reflects the short-term level of your blood glucose, the hemoglobin A1C, which reflects a 3-month period of your overall blood glucose level. And you can even check fasting insulin resistance, which is associated with type 2 diabetes. So you can check fasting insulin levels.
Right. So how do we do that?
Well, your primary care doctor will order these labs. Diabetics should be going every 3 to 6 months. The A1C will reflect how you've been handling your blood sugar over the last 3 months. The fasting blood sugar is just you don't eat the night before, after midnight, get your blood drawn in the morning and kind of see where your blood sugar ran overnight and into the morning. And then fasting insulin levels is the same thing, that you would fast, get your blood drawn. If your circulating free insulin levels are high, that means you have what's called insulin resistance and you're a type 2 diabetic and you're not efficiently managing your blood sugar.
What do you see with your practice where people make the biggest mistakes when it comes to blood sugar and this relationship between blood sugar and heart disease?
Well, I think there are a number of factors. People say they may eat healthy, but they may have trouble with portion control. Certainly their food choices. Like your previous guest mentioned, you want to avoid the simple carbohydrates, which are seen in refined foods like cakes, pastries, white bread, pasta, etc. Complex carbohydrates are fine, and those are mostly seen in vegetables. So you would like to lean towards fiber and lean protein. So people make dietary changes that aren't in their favor. They also eat fried foods, or the way they prepare the food can make a difference. And I think a lot of people need to increase their activity levels. It's recommended you have 150 minutes of moderate activity or exercise per week.
All good advice. I mean, portion control, eat more fruits and vegetables for fiber, more activity. What else can we do, doctor?
You have to control your weight, especially for type 2 diabetics. And portion control, food choices, and activity all tie into that. The one thing we can't control is our genetics, but all these other factors are lifestyle factors that we can control.
Anything else you want to mention before we let you go? Perhaps signs, symptoms, warning signs, that sort of thing?
Yeah, people do develop some signs and symptoms they may not recognize. They're frequently much more thirsty. They urinate a lot more frequently. Increased fatigue, headaches, blurred vision. These can all be signs that your blood sugar is not in control. Also, wound healing. If you develop a small injury and it takes a long time to heal, diabetes affects our immune system and our ability to heal. So those may be signs.
Very good. All right. All good information here. Final thoughts before we let you go.
Well, it's a prevalent disease in our society. 10% of people have it. The incidence is increasing, and it really needs to be on our radar for everyone to keep track of your blood sugar and see your primary care doctor regularly.
All right, Dr. Harbinder Singh, we appreciate you joining us on the digital desk. Appreciate these factoids that you're telling us about when it comes to blood sugar, blood control, and ways to prevent heart disease. Thanks for your time.
Appreciate you having me on.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 digital desk. There is a severe blood shortage, and the American Red Cross is calling on all kinds of people to roll up their sleeves and donate blood in the new year to help prevent delays in medical care for so many hospital patients across our area and across the country. I'm joined now on the Action News 5 digital desk by Dr. Courtney Lawrence. She is Division Chief Medical Officer at the American Red Cross. Courtney, good morning to you. Tell me how bad the shortage is of blood.
Good morning. So, as many people know, the Red Cross works continuously and tirelessly throughout the year to collect blood from generous blood donors so that we have an adequate national blood supply to meet the needs of our hospitals across the countries. Unfortunately, due to multiple circumstances, the hospital demand has really outpaced our ability to collect as much as we would normally like to feel secure in having the inventory to meet hospital needs. And it's decreased our inventory by a little bit more than a third.
You know, we have this winter weather that's certainly affecting us here in the Memphis area. Of course, it's affecting so many other states across the country. How has that affected the blood shortage?
So we definitely expect that every year the winter months are going to pose some unique challenges in terms of holding our blood drives. But this year has really been exceptional. In the month of December, we saw 3 times the number of blood drives that were shortened or closed due to winter impact. And just in this weekend alone, due to Fern and the subsequent ice and snow, we saw about 350 blood drives located between Oklahoma and Maine that had to be canceled. And that really decreased our blood and platelet donations that we expected by about 10,000 units that were anticipated to go to patients in need.
You know, a lot of people hear about blood shortages, but it really does have an impact, especially at so many hospitals across the country. Can you talk a little bit about the impact when there is this kind of blood shortage, Courtney?
Sure. In my role at Red Cross, I partner very closely with hospitals and healthcare providers, and we're trying to help one another be the best stewards of our valuable blood donations. But those stewardship efforts can really only go so far. So when we just simply don't have enough blood on the shelf to meet all of the anticipated patient needs, healthcare providers have to make really difficult decisions, and patients are the ones who feel consequences. We definitely know that there are people who need continuous blood transfusions, maybe because they have a blood disorder like sickle cell disease, and they really rely on blood transfusions throughout the year to be able to go out and live their lives. But also we know that emergencies happen and surges can occur. So we all hope that we won't need a blood transfusion, but the reality is any one of us could experience an emergency on any given day where we need a blood transfusion to save our lives, and we hope that blood is available for us.
So, Courtney, I understand there's a special gift for people who like to donate blood this time of year. Tell me more.
Sure. So anyone who donates blood or platelets between now and the end of February, so February 28th, will receive a $20 e-gift card to a merchant of their choice, which I think is a nice thank you to our blood donors who generously come in and roll up a sleeve. But there are also other benefits to blood donation, and one of them is that we do a little mini physical for every blood donor who comes in to donate blood, where we get their heart rate, their temperature, their blood pressure, their hemoglobin level. And that information is made available back to those donors either through the Red Cross Blood Donor app or on redcrossblood.org in their donor account, so that they have access to that important healthcare information and that can empower their own health decision making.
Okay, quickly now, how can people donate if they see this and they want to give some blood? What's the best way to do that, most efficient way?
The easiest way to do that is to look for an appointment at a blood drive closest to you, and that can be done through redcrossblood.org. Looking in, putting in your zip code, finding that blood drive, scheduling an appointment, and then we just recommend that the night before your donation, you get a good night's sleep, you eat a healthy meal before you come in to donate, don't fast for your blood donation, and make sure that you drink plenty of water so that you're well hydrated and that you recover easily and well from the donation process.
Okay, Dr. Courtney Lawrence with the American Red Cross. We appreciate your time. Thank you for highlighting the issues involved with this severe blood shortage right now and best ways and methods to get that blood supply and offer a donation. We appreciate your time. Thank you. Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. Well, there is a new series with someone very familiar to you, Mike Wolfe. He is American Pickers star on the History Channel, and he's got a new series celebrating America's rarest collectibles and iconic stories. And he is the host, the executive producer of this new series. He is someone that most people recognize searching for hidden treasures, American Pickers. I'm sure that you have heard this story as an ultimate treasure hunter. And joining me on the Action News 5 Digital Desk from as far away as Nashville, Tennessee, he is with us now talking about his new series and his adventures in Memphis. Mike, it's great to meet you. Tell me a little bit about yourself and your adventures in Memphis. Good morning.
Well, oh man, I appreciate the opportunity. We are still airing American Pickers. That show has been on for 16 years now. That is actually a show that I pitched for 5 years. And I was living in my van. I bought a camera. I was traveling the country, buying and selling things. And I wanted to start documenting it. And so all of that hard work has led to this interview that we're at right now.
Excellent, excellent. So this is a brand new series, and I have some video that we can roll as you talk about it. Tell me a little bit about how this series differs from what's currently on the air for the last 16 years on the History Channel, Mike.
Okay, so it's different and it's similar in the respect. So there's a high level of storytelling on this show, just like there is on American Pickers. You're not going to see me actually pick anything, though. You're going to see me introducing pieces. We're going to cut to a reenactment. We're going to cut to an expert, and then I'm going to do the out. I'm going to do what they call wraparounds. But I was involved in picking these stories that we're talking about. It's exciting to me because we're talking about American history, which is the history of all of us, and I think that's important for us to still dive into.
I agree, and I'm looking at it right now. It looks really cool, seeing some vintage things. Can you talk about some of the things that that you'd like to, that you guys are going to highlight on this new series?
This episode that you're showcasing here is transportation related. It talks about the Batmobile. It talks about James Bond's car. It talks about a 1908 Harley that was discovered in a barn in Wisconsin. It talks about James Dean's car. But that's just one episode. Each episode is themed. There's 8 episodes. So we're going to be talking about anything from space-related stuff to electronics to sports-related things. There's just a huge gamut of what we're covering on the show. But the exciting thing about this show is we're talking about how it was found, who found it, and then we're showing what it realized at the end of each piece. That's one of the things that a lot of people have always been curious about on American Pickers is they're like, I see you guys buy this stuff and I see what you pay for it, but we never see the end result. This show changes that.
Do you go by cities? How does it work exactly? Peel the curtain back, if you will, about, do you camp out in one area and then go to all the destinations, or do you go from city to city based upon the iconic finds that you see?
Well, on American Pickers, that's exactly what we would do. We would travel for 2 weeks on the road at a time. We would camp out in a city, and then we would go off in different directions from that, that hive. But on this show, we actually filmed 8 episodes in 4 days in my warehouse in Columbia, Tennessee. What you're seeing me walk past right there, that's actually my stuff. That's a warehouse full of my collectibles. It's a 1947 Chevrolet dealership that I'm walking through there.
That is so cool. I love it. I love it. And so you're right down the road from us here in Memphis and the Mid-South. Anything that we can talk about that you perhaps found that's a little bit related to the Memphis area?
Well, I mean, we did a show there with a guy, I can't remember his name. He runs for mayor every year. He threw flour all over Frank and I when we were Prince Mongo.
Mongo?
Prince Mongo was the guy's name. You know that guy?
Of course. Everybody knows him.
Okay.
He's an alien
well, we did a
from
show
the
with
planet
him,
Zamunda.
and we bought some oh my gosh, we bought some great historic signs from record stores that were in Memphis. Frank and I used to drive around Memphis 25 years ago and go into neighborhoods where there were a lot of buildings that weren't occupied and try to find out who owned the building so we could buy the neon sign off the front of it. So we've been at this for a very long time, and I love Memphis, man. I mean, obviously I'm a music fan, but it's really the people, just like any place else. The people have so much to be proud of there, and you can feel that.
I couldn't agree with you more. 1,000%, Mike. I appreciate it. Okay, so let's talk for our audience how people can watch this, when they can watch this, so we can bring up those numbers.
Okay, so it's 9/8 Central on the History Channel on Sunday. There's going to be 8 episodes, and the first episode airs this Sunday, 9/8 Central on History.
Excellent. Mike Wolf joining us on the Action News 5 Digital Desk. Thanks so much for giving us the update here on your one and only greatest picks and this new show. And congratulations on all your success. I mean, 16 years having that long of a tenure of one show is fantastic. So way to go. And hey, listen, you love Memphis. We love you back. So we appreciate your time, Mike. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. In 2026, the Overton Park Shell will turn 90 years old. Yeah, this is the 90th anniversary of that historic shell, the Overton Park Shell. So many concerts, so many great memories across many generations. And boy, do they have a year planned for you. Joining me now on the Action News 5 Digital Desk, I'm joined by Shelby Smith with the Overton Park Shell to give us kind of a preview of what to expect on this very momentous year. Shelby, good morning.
Good morning, guys. It's always, a beautiful time when I get to spend my mornings with you guys sharing the good work that we're doing here at the Overton Park Shell. And as you've already said, the 90th anniversary is this year. The dates are September 11th through the 13th. But between now and then, we have so much programming between our historic venue and the deployment of Shell on Wheels. Our health and wellness series is kicking back up. There are so many beautiful partnerships that we are just so excited to share with the community this season.
Yeah, you and I were discussing this, and you guys have events planned throughout the year. With the mobile Shell on Wheels, you're able to go anywhere and do it throughout the year. But the concerts are going to be starting up later this year, and I'm already excited about it, especially because there's not going to be any snow and ice around the foolishness that we've had to deal with the last couple of weeks.
The promise of a 60-degree day in the next few days really just restored my faith and my hope, because it's been very, very chilly, and obviously the temperatures are going to rise, and we're going to turn up the music here. But, a lot of our programming doesn't just involve music. We actually kick off with our health and wellness series beginning next month. And 5 Fridays of Jazz, which is going to enter its 10th year. It's a programming partnership that we have with the Memphis Library Foundation and the Memphis Public Libraries that will be returning, and again celebrating a decade of entertainment and featuring local talent here. I think that's just I think a lot of the partnerships and the programming that people are going to experience this season between Shell on Wheels, the historical concert series, the Orion Financial Concert Series, it really does speak to the diversity of genres and talents and also interest, because you can't really have a beautiful entertainment experience without people to enjoy it. So we're just really grateful that throughout these 90 years of our existence that people have grown with us, but continued to, push us into the future and to highlight the next generation of local talent and just our Memphis music legacy in general.
No question about it, Shelby. I mean, gosh, over generations in various parts of the communities, you guys are embedded in all of that. It's so great to see. And I'm just curious, are there any dates that if, the thousands of people who are watching us, that people can kind of circle or perhaps put in their calendar when it comes to Overton Park Shell and what you guys are going to be doing for the upcoming season?
Yes. So like I said, our September 11th through the 13th, that is going to be our 90th anniversary celebration. But before that, people can kind of keep an eye out for a lineup announcement to be coming soon. The Orion Financial Free Concert Series lineup actually drops on April the 6th. So make sure you mark your calendars for that date. I think people are really going to be excited for some returning acts, some tributes that we are going to be putting on to pay homage to past experiences here at the Overton Park Shell. And then, between the historical venue and where we deploy Shell on Wheels, those partnerships are also very thoughtful. So we are going to be taking the Shell into 9 different neighborhoods over the course of our birthday year. So be looking out for us to hit the road, come to a community near you, and just prepare to experience the joy of your Memphis music community.
Yes, all good, all smiles around. So what about the website? Tell us the website, when it's going to be updated, what we can do to kind of just look for everything that's going to be announced there.
Absolutely. You can find out all of our information across all of our programs, but the free concert series, the Shell on Wheels deployment, where we're going to be hosting weekly workouts and things like that. You can go to overtonparkshell.org to find all that information. And again, mark your calendar, April 6th. That's when the Orion Financial Free Concert Series lineup is going to drop. But there might be a couple different lineups in there for you to get to know and just kind of I don't know, anticipate. But before the Orion Financial Free Concert Series kicks off, we are actually in partnership with Memfo Presents. So the first concert of our season technically will be Shell Days on April the 17th and the 18th. So plenty, like I said, plenty of music, plenty of partnerships, plenty of programming. OvertonParkShell.org is where you get all that information, and hopefully, maybe whether you want to come out and just experience a show or actually partner with us, we are very open to opportunities just to get even more people involved to make it a larger celebratory experience for everybody.
Awesome. I love it. Shelby Smith joining us on the Action News 5 digital desk. It sounds wonderful. It sounds great. I'm looking forward to all of this. I've written it down here, April 17th and 18th, April 6th for the reveal of the big concert series. Final thoughts that you wanted to mention before we let you go. I know OvertonParkShell.org is the web address.
Yes. I guess final thoughts would be the arts community here is booming between music, actual, sculpture, art, like across the art or the creative community. Memphis is really thriving right now. We are so excited for our partners over at the Metal Museum to move in. We're very excited to see the next era of the Brooks as it moves downtown. There are so many amazing venues and studios doing incredible work. I know a lot of people watched the Grammys over this past weekend, and Memphis was a highlight for many people, and just embrace what's going on in the city, and just be prepared for a future of more entertainment opportunities. Memphis is on the come up, so just be on the lookout for us.
I love it, Shelby Smith. OvertonParkShell.org is the web address. You can see all of this and, of course, all the social media pages. Shelby, thanks for coming on the digital desk as always and informing us on what is going to be a big celebration year, the 90th anniversary of Overton Park Shell. We appreciate your time.
Thanks for joining us here on the Action News 5 Digital Desk. I'm First Alert meteorologist Patrick Ellis. 48 the forecast, high temperature. Thanks for joining us here on the Action News 5 Digital Desk. I'm First Alert meteorologist Patrick Ellis. 48 the forecast, high temperature for today here across the Mid-South. Hopefully you can get out and enjoy a beautiful day here across the region. But overall, it's not looking half bad for us as we go through the course of the day today. It's just going to be just downright chilly on the way up into those upper 40s. A fair amount of sunshine to come around as well. If you have plans maybe heading down to Cooper Young for the St. Patrick's Day Parade through the Cooper Young neighborhood, I think you're going to be in good shape. It's just going to be chilly. You'll need the jackets most definitely, but the good thing is that no rain will be coming out of the clouds here as we go through the course of the day. Actually, not many clouds in the skies here on this Tuesday, but the clouds are not far from coming back into the fold. That will happen overnight tonight and throughout the majority of your day tomorrow. Temperatures will dip down briefly into the middle to upper 30s. We might get a quick shower or two as we go through the course of your Wednesday morning as a weak disturbance pushes past us. Once it does move past, it will clear out the sky. Temperatures will try to pop back up to the lower 60s by the afternoon hours of your Wednesday. Overall, though, if you're a fan of warmer weather, you got it coming up here the next couple of days. We'll go 75 for a forecast high coming up for your Thursday. Tons of sunshine. That is the final day of the winter season. And the first day of the spring season will feature highs that will be closer to 80 degrees. So it would be more akin to what we normally see in the month of May. That will continue all the way through the weekend as well. Speaking to that, 66 the average high as we head through that time frame. But look at the 80s as we head through this upcoming weekend. We're calling for a high of 84 degrees. Now I'm pulling out Sunday and you're looking at First Alert Futurecast and like, okay, well, why are you showing me that? Because there's not much going on. Well, that's the thing, is that there won't be much going on except when there is something that could be going on. There's a weak front that will drop into the area. It may be able to spark a quick shower or two as we head through the overnight period of Sunday into early Monday. That front will better work its way down towards the south and should clear the board as we head throughout the course of the day on your Monday. Temperatures will kind of work their way back around towards about 70 degrees. Going to keep a small mention of a shower there. We go into next week. Highs will be hovering right around the lower 70s here with a mixture of clouds and sunshine. There could be a better chance for rain to emerge late Wednesday into Thursday with another front approaching the area and may be able to bring down our temperatures a couple more notches by the time we head towards the end of next week. But the next couple of days, including for the first weekend of spring, much more like May here across the region after a very cold way to kick off your St. Patrick's Day here on this Tuesday. A small chance of rain here or there. Most of this time, though, mainly dry.
Good morning. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, nearly half of all adults in the U.S. have hypertension. We already know that heart disease is the #1 killer, #1 for all adults, men and women. The good news is heart disease, cardiovascular disease, it's preventable through various things: lifestyle changes, exercise, nutrition, stress management, and community. Joining me now on the Action News 5 Digital Desk, I'm joined by Dalton Mabry. He's a certified personal trainer at Lifetime Fitness in Collierville to talk about heart health and what we can do not only inside the gym but outside the gym. So Dalton, where do you want to begin? Because heart disease is such a problem across the country and of course here in the Mid-South. I guess some people might feel intimidated about going to the gym sometimes if they haven't been in a while. Where do you recommend people begin with all of this? Good morning.
Good morning. Pleasure to be here. There's a few ways that you can begin on this journey to reduce hypertension or to prevent yourself from attaining this. Now, of course, you know, with exercise, you could get involved in some form of aerobic activity. All you really need is at least 20 minutes a day, just moving around a bit. You could be going outside to the park and walk around. If you're a member at Lifetime, you can participate in some of our Alpha GTX conditioning classes. When it comes to nutrition, there's a few things you can do as well there that are pretty simple, you know, increasing hydration, increasing your fiber intake. You could use oats for that, or spongy fruits like apples and pears. And there are fiber supplements you can take as well, like psyllium husk, or Lifetime branded. We have Shift that we use here that's been able to help a lot of people, you know, regulate their bodies.
You know, I love it, and those are all excellent ideas, but sometimes, you know, if someone's watching out there, and we have thousands who watch Dalton each and every morning, they might say, well, gosh, you know, I don't know where to begin. I haven't been to a gym in years. You know, I don't know what to do. What do you tell those people that feel like this is really intimidating for them and they don't know, I guess you could say, they don't know the ABCs about nutrition or health? They want to look better, feel younger, have more energy, but they don't know where to begin.
Well, there's a lot of ways you could go about that. If you were to talk with myself or one of our other expert trainers here, we'd be able to give you a guide, you know, perhaps a programmable way to pursue getting better in your health, you know, pursuing that aerobic activity, getting involved in weight training, which is beneficial as well. Now, of course, there's another way to get involved, whether in the gym or out of the gym, and that's with building a community. Being around people, like-minded people, whether it be your family or your friends or with your coach. Those are going to be ways that are going to improve your success getting involved in the gym. It takes a little bit of that fear away when you got somebody else who's got the same goals as you.
No question about it. I think the last time we talked, Dalton, I always thought that, especially for me, when I have a partner that I'm working out with, they hold you accountable. You know, even those days where you don't want to go to the gym, you know, they're like, hey, I'm already here, let's go. And I like what you said, just 20 minutes a day moving around, doing something is beneficial. And so let's talk about some of the other aspects. I know I know sleep's a big deal when it comes to just becoming healthier, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Typically, you'd want to get at least 7 hours of sleep. 7 to 9 is best for most people. If you're getting less than that, you're putting yourself at risk of high blood pressure, weight gain, or general inflammation. Now, all of those things are mitigated by good sleep, good quality sleep.
Let's do a little bit more on the diet, because I think sometimes, sometimes people get lost in that, or they have a cheat day and they're not really sure what's good, what's not. It may say nutritious, but in actuality, it's not, right?
Yeah, there's a few things you want to avoid, trans fat and such, things that are processed. If your food's in a bag or in a box, you may want to, get away from that and spend more time eating some whole foods, lean meats like fish and chicken, increasing your healthy fats with avocado and, salmon, for example, is a great fatty fish. That's really good for that as well. Increasing your grains, your whole grains, oatmeal. I advocate oatmeal.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of oatmeal myself. Stress management. A lot of us are under a lot of pressure, stress. What about that?
Yeah, well, a good thing about mitigating the stress is that a lot of that changes whenever you do increase your physical activity or improve your nutrition, get enough sleep. If you're working on those three key elements, then that's what's going to help reduce that cortisol and reduce that stress. That's going to help you long term.
Yeah, good advice there. Anything else we want to touch on before we let you go? This has been good.
I just want to say, there's a lot of avenues and there's a bit of nuance when it comes to, getting in the gym or getting involved with some form of nutritional changes. But just take it one step at a time. You don't have to change everything. You could start by adding a little bit of healthy fat, a little bit of olive oil in your food, or maybe adding a fruit and a veggie to all of your meals. And then you just build upon that, maybe getting in the gym once a week, doing some form of resistance or weight training. You go from there, and it's going to snowball into a lifestyle change.
I like that. Just a few consistent habits, and then you're able to set the foundation and then grow from there. Appreciate that. All right, Dalton Mabry, certified personal trainer at Lifetime Fitness in Collierville. We appreciate your time on the digital desk. Great advice there for anyone trying to improve their heart health. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. Let's talk about fitness tips for seniors out there, older Americans trying to stay active in 2026 and beyond. Joining me now on the Action News 5 Digital Desk, I'm joined by Katie Sandfield. She is someone who coordinates fitness at Trezvant, and she is on the digital desk to talk more about where we can begin when it comes to seniors staying fit, staying active, because it is so important, especially as you age, to remain very active. Katie, good morning to you. Where should we begin with this?
Good morning. Just something that I've really been seeing, especially I work at a residential place for seniors, and we're just seeing how much younger a 70-year-old is even now compared to 10 years ago. So we're really upping our level of fitness around here and meeting people where they are and really trying to just keep them independent for as long as they can. That's our main goal with fitness here.
You know, I see that all the time on social media, Katie, where we show pictures of people back in the 80s on various shows, and they look a lot older, and they're actually kind of young. And then you compare that to people today, and you're right, they look a lot younger, and they're doing more things to benefit their health and age in a better way. Where do we begin? I know you work at Tresvant Manor there. What's the best, I guess, underlying theme and exercises that people should begin with?
Yes, we focus on balance. That underlies all of our classes across the board. That is the number one thing that people are concerned with, because if we don't have good balance, we're falling. Falling is going to lead to joint replacements and a lower quality of life. So we are focusing on strength, flexibility, and agility. Really, a lot of our exercises, they don't look like much, but they are going to give us that, again, independence through our life. So we practice a lot of moving through our balances. So as simple as lifting a leg and pretending to step over an obstacle. And that's going to help us in a parking lot. That's going to help us when grandchildren are over and they're leaving toys everywhere. I have a 4-year-old at home, and that's a lot of my daily life and my parents' life when they come over to babysit, is practicing that agility of when you don't know if there's going to be a little toy car on the ground, and you have to practice stepping over that. We saw it a lot in the last few weeks with the snow and ice, finding that steadiness, grounding through our feet and through our core and our upper body to have our best posture to be able to walk on that snow and ice. In all of our classes, any senior class that anyone's going to go to across the board, whether it's at a residential place like Tresvant, or if you're just going to the gym, taking a Silver Sneakers class, they're always going to offer a chair. That's pretty much standard across the board. I just taught a class a few minutes ago, and we stay seated the whole time today, but we were still working on exercises that are going to benefit them with their balance.
What about when it comes to avoiding injuries, Katie? Because if they're going to be exercising, they're going to be moving, they're going to be trying to stay balanced and agile, we got to figure out ways to avoid injury, right?
Absolutely. A little soreness is okay. Anytime you're going to try a new exercise or a new class, you're going to feel a little soreness. And that just means you're working muscles that haven't worked in a little while. We also need to remember that our fitness is going to look a little different in our 80s than it did in our 30s. So I see that a lot where it's like, well, I used to be able to do all of this, and we can't quite push ourselves to that level anymore. Our joints are older. You start to lose a little muscle mass as we get older. So just be patient with yourself when you're trying something new. I had a 92-year-old come to yoga for the first time the other day, and I hope he's watching. And I told him, it's not going to happen overnight. That was a shock to your system, because I was asking you to do things that your body has never done before. And you can't go 100% the first time. You got to take those baby steps to find these new exercises that are going to work for you and your new body. And your body is different day to day. I cue that a lot. I'm a yoga teacher at heart, and we always talk about listening to our bodies. And your body is going to tell you when you need to slow down, or if that is not the exercise that your body needs at this point. Also keeping an eye on your blood pressure, your blood sugar, if you're diabetic. A lot of our gyms have, blood pressure cuffs or a little pulse ox that can go on your finger just to check your oxygen. Or even a lot of the machines in the gym, they have those little, you'll see little silver panels on the elliptical, the treadmill, and that will check your pulse and just check in on your body and see where you are in that moment.
So with exercise, there's always the discussion of diet. Let's talk about diet when we talk about seniors and exercising and staying active.
Absolutely. Always talking about a heart healthy diet, lower sodium, but that doesn't mean food needs to be boring. Spices, lots of spices and seasonings don't have any salt in them. Definitely don't have to be just eating plain chicken and steamed broccoli anymore. There's so much good food out there. I also talk about hydration a lot. I'm a millennial. I come from the generation where we are glued to our water bottles all the time. So during my classes, I try to tell everyone, remind people, okay, let's pause here, get a drink of water. A lot of people are worried about overhydrating and needing to leave to go to the bathroom, and that's always fine. Always, again, listen to your body. If you're thirsty, drink that water. The water is going to lubricate your muscles, help them heal from being sore.
Finally, can you talk about how important community and friendship is as we age?
Yes. The class I was just talking about, I have a 9:15 class every morning, and we get about 20 people in that class consistently, and they are the same ones that are coming every day. And that accountability of your friends, they will remind you like, oh, I didn't see you in class. Like, we were worried about you when you don't show up. And a lot of times, I have a 5-minute delay on class because we're all socializing, we're all catching up, inviting each other to dinner. And that really keeps people coming back day after day. Because a lot of times, especially if you're retired, you're not getting out as much. That might be the only time you get out of your house all day is to attend a fitness class. And that's just such a great community. And that's my favorite part of teaching seniors. My son is like a second grandchild to them. So they all want to hear about what's going on in my life. I want to know what's going on with their grandchildren. It really creates a beautiful community that feels like a family.
I appreciate that, Katie. Anything else you'd like to add before we wrap this up?
Again, just talking about how much younger our seniors are these days, and to really respect them and to meet them where they are. And it is so great to hear, hey, we went a harder class. We just started a program of weightlifting for seniors because, they're doing their research, they're online reading articles, and, seeing that we need to keep building muscle to keep maintaining our healthy lifestyle. And and just if you're watching this and you're a senior and you're scared to go into class, please don't hesitate to go. People are always saying, oh, I don't want them to look at me, but people are so wrapped up in what they're doing, what's going on in their body. I promise they're not even looking at you, and you're going to make a new friend if you go.
All right, Katie Stanfield joining us on the Action News 5 Digital Desk. We really appreciate these tips, Katie. Thank you so much, and thank you for all that you do for the wonderful people there at Trezevant Manor. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Action News 5 Digital Desk. I want to tell you about a show that's coming to A&E. It is called Predator Hunters, and it is a new series that follows a 30-year veteran investigator by the name of Detective Tony Godwin, where he and his team in the North Texas-based Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force, they uncover all kinds of online exploitation and bring perpetrators to justice before they harm any children. And joining me now on the Action News 5 Digital Desk, I have Tony joining us to talk a little bit more about this series. Tony, it's good to meet you. Tell me, first off, about your background. 30 years, is this all in the Texas area? Good morning.
Yes, sir. Good morning. Thank you for having me. And, I've been in law enforcement for almost 35 years total. I started out in the military as a cop and a detective, and then I transitioned to a civilian agency where I've been for the last 32 years. And my role for the past 20 of those 32 years has been on the North Texas ICAC Task Force.
Okay, and so obviously the work has gained the attention of these producers at A&E. Tell me the kind of work that you do and what we're going to see if we, tune in to watch this. I have a little bit of video that I can show while you're talking.
Yeah, thank you for that. So generally, I do undercover work online. So anything that affects a child, gaming systems, cell phones, computers, the World Wide Web, anything involving child exploitation, I put myself out there in an undercover capacity in the hopes that a predator will find me instead of a real child. Everything that I do online in an undercover capacity is something that I've learned, unfortunately, from a real case involving a real child. And so it's important for us and the ICAC Task Force to be out there and prevent any harm to a real kid if we can.
The first thing when I was prepping for this interview, Tony, initially I thought of To Catch a Predator, which was early 2000s. It was on NBC, very popular show. How is this different, or is it very much the same?
Oh, it's very different. I can assure you that. At the end of the day, this is all run by law enforcement. In order to do this type of work in the ICAC, you have to be an active law enforcement officer, which was very different than how it was done back in the day. And while entertaining, the entertainment value is still there because, we do end up catching a lot of really bad people. And I think the audience itself is going to hopefully gain the understanding and the education component to this, to know that these are real life case studies. This isn't make believe. This is things that really happen. And I think they're also going to see just how rapidly things move and the reality and severity of some of the things these offenders will do and say.
So you've been doing this, as we've been talking about, for over 30 years. What kind of advice would you give to parents? There are so many parents out there that are concerned about online predators and their kids being online. Give me some basic advice that you would give those parents.
Yeah. Oh, really great question. Number one is I would say the key thing is probably be intentional, leaning in, knowing when you see some sort of behavior change in a child. Maybe they go from an A student down to a D student, or maybe their friend group has changed significantly, or they've always been an outgoing person and now they're kind of an introvert. So pay attention. Those could be red flags that something's going on. Also, know what's going on, know how to get into their phones, know the passcodes, know the apps, educate yourself about where they're going and what they're doing, and monitor what they're doing. If you do that on your own, as well as with maybe some kind of a software to do that, you're going to help yourself out in the long run, and do so in a loving and constructive way that's age appropriate for your child. But that intentionality of multiple conversations over the course of time is the key. That's the key. Because if you do that, the chance that if something does happen, your child will come to you or a trusted adult and say, I think I've gotten myself into a situation. You may not be happy. You may be a little disappointed, but you can do this and conquer this and empower that child to know that they did the right thing, and we're going to get this taken care of.
Great advice there, Tony. Final thing, where can we watch this show?
It's on A&E on Thursday nights at 9 o'clock Eastern time. The premiere episode was last week, but there's 10 episodes in this, so I hope everybody will tune in on Thursdays at 9 o'clock Eastern on A&E.
Okay. Detective Tony Godwin, we really appreciate you coming on the Digital Desk, telling us not only about your show, Predator Hunters, but also great advice for some parents out there that have young children. And we know that is certainly a problem with so many people all across the country, is this online predators that are out there. So listen, we appreciate the time. Thanks for the expertise, and we'll look for you on A&E Thursday night. Appreciate it.
I thank you, and thank you very much for your time.
84 degrees. Now I'm pulling out Sunday, and you're looking at First Alert Futurecast, and like, okay, well, why are you showing me that? Because there's not much going on. Well, that's the thing, is that there won't be much going on except when there is something that could be going on. There's a weak front that will drop into the area. It may be able to spark a quick shower or two as we head through the overnight period of Sunday into early Monday. That front will better work its way down towards the south and should clear the board as we head throughout the course of the day on your Monday. Temperatures will kind of work their way back around towards about 70 degrees. Going to keep a small mention of a shower there. We go into next week. Highs will be hovering right around the lower 70s here with a mixture of clouds and sunshine. There could be a better chance for rain to emerge late Wednesday into Thursday with another front approaching the area and may be able to bring down our temperatures a couple more notches by the time we head towards the end of next week. But the next couple of days, including for the first weekend of spring, much more like May here across the region after a very cold way to kick off your St. Patrick's Day here on this Tuesday. A small chance of rain here or there. Most of this time, though, mainly dry.
All right, that does it for us here in the Action News 5 Digital Desk. We got midday coming up at the top of the hour. Join me once again on the Digital Desk tomorrow morning beginning at 9 o'clock. We'll see you then.